Hello, and welcome to another episode of Creating Cultures that Outperform. I say it every time now. This innovation series has been rocking. I hope you're loving it. We're all the way up to episode 14, which is continuous innovation. After applying all these incredible things that we've talked about and getting it working, you're in this cycle of continuous innovation. It's one of the things you really want to get to. And I'm here to talk about it with Terry Mays, certified culture engineer. I'm Frank Warner, the founder and CEO of People Productive. And we're thrilled to talk about this because after you've applied everything we've covered in the earlier episodes, you're building like a machine that's running. You're continuously innovating. You're always evaluating new ideas. You're collecting new ideas. You're doing the test and learn. Continuously, you're inspiring people to tap that wellspring of ideas people have because you've got to get that process going. You've got to be rewarding people and have that achievement-driven culture. And so continuous innovation is just a machine that's running in your company. You're continuously innovative, which means you break from the pack because you go faster than everybody else. You outcompete and outperform them. And there are examples of great companies that have done this. Apple just continuously innovated. Look at the product streams that came out of that company. Amazing. And we can talk about others. But this is what continuous innovation is. And most companies find themselves in the opposite, which is an inability to really innovate. They're stuck. They're not doing anything that's really meaningful. They're not, certainly no breakthrough innovation is going to come, but most innovation is actually incremental. And that continuous innovation, tons of incremental innovation and improvement coming along that makes you just better, faster, cheaper than the others. Right, Tara?
That's right. Apple is a great example. If you think back to the first generation iPhone versus where we are today with the iPhone, even just thinking about MacBooks, if you think
Oh,
about the
unbelievable.
first generations of those Apple MacBooks or even the iMac
Yeah.
desktop
An
computer.
iPad, an iPad breakthrough. I mean, everybody had them at home on their desk. They use them in the kitchen.
Yeah,
A breakthrough device.
I remember years ago when the iMacs first came out, it was like learning a whole new language because they had all these
Mm-hmm.
different codes and the codes are still there, right? If you get a MacBook today, you've still got all these command, like control C, control V, and it's command C, command V on the MacBook. But back then, years ago, when that first came out, it was such a concept, like a foreign concept for people to grasp. And
Mm-hmm.
so Microsoft right away took off because they got away from all those codes and they made
Yeah.
that menu bar
DOS.
at the top
Oh,
that
that
was
DOS was
more
horrible.
user friendly. So the key, I think one of the keys anyway, to that continuous innovation is to stay customer centric. So as long as you're thinking about your product like your customers would, you're using the product like a customer would and not a
Mhm.
developer. That's
Yeah.
one of the biggest things that I found is when you start looking at applications, and if you're looking at this application from a developer perspective, there are things that you won't recognize are bad ideas. Like case in point, one of the things that just drives me up the wall is when you call to check on your account or any business,
Yeah.
the first thing they want is your account number. Well, who knows that? Nobody knows their account number. It would be much better to be able to pull up a customer's account by their
Hey,
name,
get
their
this. My
address.
wife lost a credit card. She calls up and they say, enter the last four digits of your credit card. You can't
I
get through
don't
to
know what
somebody.
it is.
Yeah. I lost the card, you stupid. And
Yeah,
so, who she didn't have that convenient at the moment. And just badly designed
yeah.
processes.
Poorly designed. It's not designed from a customer perspective.
No.
It's designed from a developer, right? So the developer is looking at this and he's like, the easiest way to find this account is to have the account number, which that is actually true. That's absolutely true, but it's not very customer centric. And one of the
Oh,
ways that you can continuously innovate is by thinking through the lens of a customer. How would
absolutely.
you want to
Continuously improving the
interact with
customer
this?
experience. That is the
Yes,
key, I think.
yes.
And
Continuously think about this and see things through that lens of your customer. How are they how are they interacting with your product? And then if you get reviews, read the reviews and see what people are saying. What are they complaining about? That's a
Oh, that's
landmine
gold
of
mine, gold mine,
just
really.
complete gold mine of ideas that can be some of those things that you go through this iterative process of failing and learning that we just talked about last week.
Yep.
So as you're learning and growing, you can use your customer feedback in such a great way to improve the product. Because a lot of times
Continuous.
people are complaining about it because they don't like the way something works. And sometimes people are just complaining to
Yeah.
complain. But other times people really have some great ideas if you're listening.
And we ended the last episode by talking about that companies that don't actually get to the point where they're continuously innovating are going to be dinosaurs. And it's absolutely the case. The companies that are really innovative, they're going to attract the best talent. They're going to keep their customers happy. They're going to get competitive advantage because they're going to move faster and they're going to be going so fast nobody can keep up. That means that they've got much higher levels of productivity as well because they're able to be agile. And you've got to have that agile culture where you're doing things fast and you breaking them into pieces. Companies like this are embracing all of the things that have been going on for the last few decades, but perfecting them and integrating them into their processes. So it's just so important, that whole notion of test and learn, which is really this iterative incremental development we started back in the 90s. That iterative development, these processes that you put in place that allow you to really experiment, test and learn, fail fast, often, and cheap. That's what this is about. And that's a culture. That's an
Yeah.
innovative culture. And in our model, when you get to the top of it, that very top level, it's continuously innovative. That's what it is. You've got to be scoring in every one of these human factors of innovation and productivity at a high enough level to get like up to 4.75 out of 5. That last little piece, you're really doing everything right. And
Right.
it's not easy to achieve, but if you're not trying to get there, you're already losing because you're really heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah. You've got to stay in this space where you want to get better. You don't want to just stay where you're comfortable with where you are and things are great and we haven't improved and we don't have to improve. That way of thinking is going to make you become obsolete
Obsolete,
because things
resting
are
on your
changing.
laurels.
Yeah, they are changing at such a rapid pace. Just the expectations of customers have drastically changed in the last 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Just drastically changed what we expect, how long we expect to wait. I was just so shout out to Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A.
Oh, we were
But
just there on Saturday. It was so good. They
yeah,
were so helpful.
so
It was
you
great.
can place your order and get in the mobile pickup line. If you place your order in the app, get in the mobile pickup line. You scan the QR code to let them know that you're here. And about 30 seconds later, somebody is walking out with your order. I was just like, this is what I'm talking about, continuous improvement.
Yeah.
So, yes, you can place your order online at lots of places, and you can go and do a curbside pickup, which you can also do at Chick-fil-A. You can go inside and place your order old school if you're like my husband, who still is just an old school kind of guy. He wants
Loves
to be
going in to get it,
inside.
huh?
He doesn't want to go through the drive-through. I make him go through the drive-through all the
Wow.
time. But you can take that route through the drive-through and place your order in a traditional way. But man, they have made it so easy for you to download that app, place your order in the app, you pay for everything right there.
Yeah.
You
Great
scan the QR
example.
code when you get there, and then you pick your order up and you never have to get out of the car. You
And
The
it's
person just
fast.
walks right out and
Right.
you're like you bypass the whole line at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Like
And think
everybody
about it.
knows that Chick-fil-A's line is stinking long everywhere you go.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, what a great thing. Of course,
Yeah,
that's now you could see everybody's going to get over to that line because it's
right,
just much, much better. But these are all great examples of why
right.
companies have to strive for continuous innovation. These human factors. We're in an era defined by talent and culture, without a doubt. Certainly, AI. And in episode 15, we're going to talk about how to augment that into your culture. That's next week's episode, human machine
Yes.
teaming. Very, very important. But at the end of the day, it's this continuous innovation, just continuously improving things. That's incremental innovation. having
Yes.
that button out there and having somebody thought about it, they put it in place.
Right.
And, we've talked about this many times. We did a show on this earlier this year. PwC came out with this. 4,700 CEOs believe 40% of the work in the organization produces no value. How are you going to compete if you let this happen?
Right.
And you are going to be one of these companies that isn't around in 10 years. You're going to be
There's
gone.
just too much waste.
Oh,
There's too much waste in an organization like that. There's no way you can survive
oh,
when things are changing so rapidly. You won't be able to keep up and you will become a dinosaur.
you will. And if you want to continuously innovate, you've got to embrace all the things we talked about in these episodes. This is what innovative culture is. You end at continuously innovative culture. That's the end point. And we'll talk about how to integrate AI in next week. Very, very important. But we love talking about this stuff because it's not just the present, but it is absolutely defining the future of work because the companies that do this are the ones who are going to be around. And so we're here every Wednesday at 3 p.m. We have actually 4 more episodes coming on this series. And we're going to define a whole bunch of things. We have 2 episodes on really what not to do, how not to continuously innovate. And there's other things we haven't talked about that companies do, like set up innovation teams, going to do everything. No, failure. That's not going to work. There are a lot of things that you shouldn't do if you want to be continuously innovative. And we'll talk about those. We have 2 episodes coming on that. But anyway, we'll be here next week to talk about human machine teaming, how you integrate AI into this creative process. And we'll see you then.